Okay, people. So now it's September 30th, 2019. I am doing this again. What I did is I went into my old CDs and I went and got out this program. Do you see it? This is the program that I bought when I started working on the nonprofit and I needed to make gifts and do whatever to build on the website. Right? I didn't do a lot with it, but anyway, what I've seen so far, I think we're going to get further with this than anything that I've been doing. What I'm noticing with these window programs that they're coming out with now, they give like paint, for example. In Windows 7, they give you paint, right? Which, in my opinion, in Windows 7 is better than in Windows 10. Okay? So now, for the people that want to help me, I'm not going to turn this around because I pretty much got it where I want it, right? For the people that want to help me, because there's people out there that care, right? And this will save lives, people, okay? It's going to take a while, but at some point, it's going to save lives. For the sheer fact is, once people get caught doing something and they're held to account, then it's harder to do it again. Right now, we live in a lawless society where anything goes. So, since it's anything that goes, I'm going. For the ones that want to help me, and if you want, this is what I would recommend before I get into what I'm going to do here. For the ones that are trolling and are dissenters and agitators and naysayers, or are trying to protect themselves, right? And they don't have to watch these videos, right? They don't have to come to this channel and be involved in any manner. Nobody is requiring you to waste your time in terms of get to the point. Why are you dragging it out? Why are you taking so long? Give me the grody stuff with a snap of a finger. This is not grody, people. This is a fact of life, right? The ones that care and want to see justice and want to prevent future deaths and mishaps in terms of illegal organ harvesting and all that crap that's going on in a lawless society today. Well, for those people, what I would recommend is when you're watching the video, you can pause the video and you can go onto your keyboard if you don't know how to do this, because not all of us do. I didn't know, people. It was my son who showed me how to do this. You go onto your keyboard, and at the top right-hand side, you'll see those numbers, and you'll see print screen. Well, it's PRT, SCN or something like that with SYS, RQ. That is the button that you press. And you press that button, okay? So you're watching my video, you put it on, you see something. Like one person said, I noticed something, I'm going to get a paintbrush so I don't use pens and scratch my screen. This screen is not perfect. There are a few flaws on it. So those flaws, you're going to have to see them for what they are and ignore them. But for a person that mentioned that there was something red on ShaMay's nose, I think this is what that person is talking about, this right here, because it's quite noticeable. I'm not going to rush with these videos, people. It's going on 11 o'clock at night. I'm not feeling that great. Pressure in my head's been, like I said, off the roof. I've been sleeping at best 4 hours. I get woken up in my sleep with my ears screaming, pressure in my head. Okay, so I'm pretty worn out, right? And I'm not rushing with this. But I know, like I said, I really do feel that there are people out there that are genuinely concerned and want to help for whatever reason, whether they want to prevent deaths, whether they want to see justice for ShaMay. Maybe something happened to them and their family and they didn't get justice and they're looking for justice one way or another, right? You know what I mean? Because there's a lot of people out there falling through the cracks that are not getting justice, people, okay? Because I know how the justice system works with Uncle John, trust me. I've seen it happen with Andre and obviously this. So, for the ones that are noticing things, and if you want to create your own documentation list, I guess you can say, what you'll need is at least a paint, preferably Windows 7. I prefer that one. You go onto your keyboard. Okay, so you're watching the video. You see something that I maybe don't see, or you just want to have it logged for your own personal reference, because you're building knowledge. This is what you're doing. You're educating yourself through these videos. These are educational videos, okay, people? And then you pause the video for the ones that don't know. You go to your keyboard, you push that print screen button, and then you open up your paint. I'm not going to open up on Windows 10 because I don't personally like it and I don't need to use it at this point. And then you go and you push, and then you take your mouse, right? I have this on Zoom right now, so I'm not going to click it. You take your mouse, you click the page. It's a blank page. And then you push you can either paste it on. Sometimes it will paste on. And then whatever it was that you screenshot, or whatever it's called, through a keyboard, will come on to your paint. And then you save it into a JPEG or a PNG file. So those files, they're easier to read on various computers, right? You don't want it in a bitmap and all that crap. So anyway, and then when you want to put it on your paint, you push Alt, Central, Alt, and V. I'm pretty sure it's V. You do the three of them together, and then what it does is it imports the picture that you saved through your print screen button on your keyboard, and then you save it. And then this way you can build your own reference library, I guess you can say, okay? So that it's a form of protection for yourself and your loved ones. Because if you should happen to have a loved one end up in a situation like ShaMay and her family, you'll have the tools and the ammunition to fight back much more quicker than what my family had. Because we went in blind, we were blindsided, hoodwinked, deceived, mistreated, ostracized, da-de-da-da-da, and time is ticking. Whereas your loved one goes into a hospital setting and your hairs on your arms start to stand up, you'll know exactly what to look for, and you'll catch those bastards very fucking quick. Okay? And this is what I mean. It will save lives. These videos will save lives. In the long run, they will save lives. Okay, so now that I've got that out of the way, and I'm pleased that I kept my CDs, even though over the years I've been ragged on Well, you're a hoarder. Why do you keep these old CDs? They don't work no more. They're out of date. It's new technology. Some things, yes, you have a point. Other things, not so much. So, and as a final note, for the ones that might make their own library, right, in terms of, doing that screenshot and listing things down, well, I don't want to ask for help, but if anyone does take the time to do that, it would be greatly appreciated if you sent it my way, and then I can use it for what I need to use it for. Because personally, I'm pretty much a scatterbrain right now, people, and I'm trying to get the information out there, right? I'm trying to log it, but I'm not being very successful at logging it. I'm trying to discover it right now. I'm trying to locate it. I'm trying to explain it. I'm trying to, digest it in terms of, this is my daughter, right? And, I can't cry, people, because if I cry, that's not going to get us anywhere, right? But it makes me want to cry. So, this is a crop of a screenshot that I took of a short video on April 17th. We've seen this one before. We've actually been through this before, but we're trying it again, right? We're trying to get a little more fine-tuned with it, with a different program. However, I am using the camera that I had out in the garage when I was doing the rafters, and it fell off the ladder, remember? Okay? And this one here has lines through it and all this writing for whatever reason on the screen. I don't know. I can go into the, what is it called? Instruction book. I might be able to get rid of it. I'm not too sure how this is going to record. All I know is I am not going to zoom in with the camera versus zoom in with the program. I'm going to do it differently. But even with it as it is right now, and this is where I could use help, okay? This is a shout out for help for anyone that wants to take on this particular project. Or again, if you just want it for yourself as a reference to keep it as a handy tool in the house just in case, right? One of your loved ones end up in this situation, right? You need to know what to look for. Okay? So, we've been through this before, but now I could zoom in for a moment, right? And I will. And then I'm going to pull the camera back. I've got it sitting on books right now, so it's not so jittery. And like I said, I'm not rushing with these videos because this is tough enough as it is, especially when you really don't know what you're doing in terms of proficiency, because you know the program and you've done it a million times. It's all trial and error for me. But this is her eyelashes. Remember we talked about that? This is where her eye is actually caving in. This is what was happening on the 17th before they put eye caps in, which you can clearly see on the 19th with the picture that I have with her on the 19th. Okay? And the reason I'm saying that it's caving in is because in here you can see there's a gully, right? Again, I don't want to zoom in just yet. And just with the type of shadowing, right? It's like a bowl, right? And then here are her bushy, and I'm very cognitive of people paying attention and bringing to my attention keywords like bushy. Like, nobody has bushy eyebrows. Nobody. I'm sorry. Eyelashes. Even people who wear fake eyelashes don't have bushy, okay? They might have thick, but they don't have bushy. There is nothing in here to suggest that this is normal in terms of eyelashes. And when you get into here, and this is where another viewer mentioned that there is a term for this, I can't think of it right now, where it's kind of like paint brushing or something, with tattoo shops or something do this stuff, right? I'd have to go back and find it in my comments section. I wrote it down, but again, I've been a bit of a scatterbrain. So for somebody that wants to screenshot this and then log it down in terms of when we go through it, and there's specific things that can be highlighted, like these eyelashes that are completely fake. Because this is what is going to hold the public union sector in my province to account. And if it's happening in my province, people, Canada is a young country. Understand that. We only have something like 38 million people in all of Canada. The United States has 320 million documented citizens and another 80 million undocumented. Okay, so whatever happened to ShaMay has been happening long before in the United States, before it showed up here. Yes, British Columbia, Canada, is the capital for corruption when it comes to money laundering through fentanyl sales and the housing market, and now illegal organ harvesting. But in terms of illegal organ harvesting, I think we're pretty new at the game. I don't think it's been going on as long as it's been going on in the United States. Canada follows the United States. They're all interconnected on that information highway. See, now you can see I'm zooming it in. I don't know how the camera is going to respond. I can see lines in it. I don't know if it's recording that way. Again, I dropped the camera, so it's hard to say. So I'm just going to pull it back because I don't want to look at pixels. Right? And what we're going to do is we're going to use the zoom. You have to give me time. Okay. No. I don't think the camera itself is picking up the pixels because it should be far enough away from the screen, and I haven't zoomed it in. I'm using the program. Right. This is a gully. Eyelashes don't do that, people. Here you can see it's been drawn on. See, this is where the camera has all these little pictures on it on the screen, so I can't really see. I can just follow my own mouse here. Right? I don't know why it's so dark in here, other than it's either makeup that got smudged along the way, or you're actually getting into the skin decomposing. Here are those lines. You can see them, right? And what I'll do is I'll bring it in closer. Just give me some time. We don't know what this is going to look like until I upload it. Now you see, you can screenshot this for yourself. You should be able to clearly see that this has nothing to do with eyelashes. This is something else. Because if they were eyelashes, you'd see eyelashes. You would see hair. And that's not what you're seeing. You're seeing something that was looked like it was drawn on. We've already discussed that. Should I just bring it in one more time? Do you see that? This works much better. And then you can always, if you wanted to, get creative. You can go find yourself a nice little magnifying glass. I mean, there's different things that you can try. We're not going to do that right now. That's another day. Okay. But there they are. 1, 2, 3, whatever that is. Now, in regards to these little yellow dots, based on the video from where this came from, this I would be suspicious about. Where is my mouse? Okay, like again, this screen is not very good for me. Okay, but based on the video, do you see any hair, people? I see no hair. Okay, based on the video from where this came from, because of the lighting in the room at the time, the person who took the video, their skin is displaying similar properties. Okay? Because of the type of lighting that was in the room. Now you have to remember, we're dealing with people that practice the master of deception. All right? When you have a doctor running down the hall because he was informed that you're coming up in an elevator to go see your stepdad, and you turn the corner just as you get up into the 5th floor and you're going to go down to go see your stepdad, and you turn the corner to go down that hall and you see that doctor literally run into Uncle John's room so that when you show up, he's standing right next to John ready to talk to you, even though you had an appointment with him the following day with your family. In other words, Marcaine, Tisha, ShaMay, Uncle John, me, we're all going to meet on Friday at 1 o'clock to go see the doctor to discuss Uncle John's situation, to have him come home. And they were trying to cancel out that appointment. And I said, no, it has to be that day because my kids were taking off college, they were taking off work, and everybody wanted to be together for that one particular appointment with the doctor. But because I showed up on Thursday, and they cued the doctor that I was coming up the freaking, elevator. And I turned the corner once I got onto the floor, and I seen that doctor run into that room. This is what I'm trying to tell you, people. They are masters of deception. This is her other eye with these, I don't know what the hell that is. That's supposed to be her eyelash. There's her eyeball. Now, in her medical records, again, I'm not rushing with this, people. Now, I just breezed through them. I didn't study them because, first of all, I'm not a doctor and I can't read medical terms per se. But I did read that one eye was causing a problem in terms of like her eyes weren't dilating, right? Like they were just, I think some of what they wrote was true and some of what they wrote was not, right? I'll get to it. I'll bring it out. I'll read it eventually. I'll show you eventually, right? But what I'm trying to say is, what are we looking at here? Is this rounded? Did this eye cave in? Like the other eye? I mean, these eyelashes, or sorry, eyelashes, that's not eyelashes, people. That's a big clump of something. Look how big that is. I'll zoom in a little more. And of course, the closer you get, you start to see. But the thing is, again, keep in mind, for for April 17th, a lot of this yellow crap that you're looking at in terms of corpuscles or whatever, it's to do with the lighting, because the person who took the video skin is showing similar properties. Okay? This is something else, though. Okay? Whatever this is. We're just going to go through. Now, down up in here, this is her nose. You can see her nostril here. Okay? In another picture, I can show you that right underneath the bridge of the nose, they missed it with the makeup, and there's black. Because, you know, they use makeup for a reason, people. Embalming can only embalming can only slow down the decomposition process. It can't stop it. Right? So, this is where her nose is. There's the bridge of her nose. You can see that's the bridge of her nose. All this crap that they've got near her mouth, if you notice, they're not going to be plastering a lot of makeup in there. So obviously it's going to be darker. Right? There's that red spot, whatever that is. Right? I wouldn't know. There's her eyelash, because I brought it in closer. Do you see that? Does that look like an eyelash to you? No. And eyelashes don't go all the way up on the bridge of your eyebrow. Right? Like under the bridge of your eyebrow. Right? So that's either makeup or it's skin that's rotting. This is her eyebrow. I don't know if you're seeing pixels. Am I seeing a glare? I'm kind of seeing a glare. So maybe we'll turn off a light. I'm wondering what would happen if I turned off the light above me. Let me just go try that and see what happens. Hold on. I gotta watch I don't step on the cord and break this camera. I don't know. Does it make a difference? Again, I won't know until I upload it. If you're not interested in watching, you don't have to watch. If you have the time to log things down and start a ledger on this stuff, by all means, I encourage it, because we need to save lives. Right? The only reason 80,000 plus people are dying off from fentanyl alone in the United States of America, and, well, I don't know about all of Canada, but in the province of British Columbia, Canada, in 2018, it was documented that over 1,500 people, which is the highest of all Canada, died from fentanyl. There's a reason for that, people. And illegal organ harvesting is it. Not to mention getting rid of poor people off the welfare rolls and drug sales. So hear that read again. These are things to take note of, right? Again, it could be just the type of lighting that's involved, or it was because their skin was shavedy, or because it was shaved. I don't know. I can't explain it. But you can clearly see it. In this eye, a lot more black. Do you see it? It's all over in there. And that's not shadowing, people. Okay? That's her hairline. I don't know what's going on with that. I just zoomed in a bit more. Just looking. That's her eyebrow again. Zoomed in a bit more. If you see something, you can screenshot it, save it, list it down for whatever you think it is. If you know what it is, let me know and forward it to me. There's that gully. Here's corpuscles, or whatever you want to call them. I don't know what they're called, but you can see it. Now we're getting into those fake eyelashes. Whatever, it's either makeup or it's rotten skin. I already said that. Now, I wanted to mention, keep this in mind, because they're not going to be plastering a lot of makeup around their tubing. Because if they plaster makeup around their tubing, what would happen, people? That makeup would smudge onto their tubing. So it would be much harder to cover it up, the skin, where they've got, and I'm leading up to something here, where they've got their equipment on her face. Okay? Don't know what that is. Because I want you to notice something here. Do you see? Let's see if I can get it. It's hard to see. Okay, I need to bring it down to normal size. Normal viewing. There's the normal viewing. I need to move the camera just a bit. I want you to notice this is the rubber stuff that they have squishing the cheek to hold their equipment in place. Okay? If I zoom into this, you're going to see that it's much darker than over here. And again, they're not going to, you know, how much makeup can they put underneath that before it's going to start smudging? Okay? So let's increase it. Here I want you to notice in here, I don't know if you can see that. What happens if I turn on a light? Oh man. Does it make a difference? I don't know. What if I turn the camera off? I'm just going to bring it up. Yeah. It's showing really dark on the screen, but on the computer screen you can see through the plastic and you can actually see it broken up. So maybe if I do it like this, do you see? No, yeah, you can see that. I can see it through the screen. Do you see how much darker it is? Do you see? This is all covered up by their plastic because I'm assuming they can't put a lot of makeup underneath there because what? Sweating, running, leaking, smudging, you know, spreading onto the equipment. You know, people like, what is all that on the equipment? Like, you know how makeup smudges, right? Let's just bring it in a little closer. Let's see what happens. Okay, now when you're getting into bigger spots like this is the skin rotting, people. That's nature. This is nature taking its course. The little dots and the little yellow dots, this is, like I said, this is okay. That, because of the type of lighting that was going on at the time when this video was taken, the person who was a living, breathing human being was showing the same type of visualization. But not this shit, okay? This is too big. It's too, right? Okay. So, this is dragging on. So what I'm going to do, view, where is it? Normal viewing. All right, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go get a new picture. If I can find it. We've already looked at this one. We've seen this one. But again, I'm not very good at this. But I have a new program now, so we're going to go through it quickly, and then I'm pretty much going to call it a night, and I'll convert this over and I'll upload it. Okay, so here's that tube. So let's see what we get. Okay, what's going on? I'm getting sidebars. This is not even, I don't know. I'm not even getting a whole screen on this. What is it called? You know, the screen on the camera, right? I have a big black spot here and a big black spot there when I should be seeing this equipment over here. Let's go look at the equipment. Just out of curiosity. See, I have to move the camera. So I don't know if I can change the settings on this. Oh, what do you call it? Camera. Again, master of deception. Okay, they had to make it look like they were doing something in terms of medical profession. So you can see the end of the picture there, right? What I notice is this shit glows. I'm just looking at the tubing right now. Again, if you see something like in here, right? Now, I don't know if you can clean this up and make it like it is looking blurry. I can see the pixels in there. The camera's probably picking it up, right? This is where somebody else is probably better at this kind of stuff. The last time I did this, people, and I really want to make a mental note on this. If you notice the type of blanket that they used with the dots, again, master of deception, they did that on purpose to distract away from what was coming out through the tube, so that the tube wouldn't be as noticeable, because the eye will go towards the brightest and the boldest, right? It's not going to pick up the subtle little things if there's something there to overwhelm the subtle. The blanket overwhelms the subtle, and the subtle is the actual tube itself with its gunk in it. This is again on the 17th. If you notice the color of the tube, right? And it's very dark in here. And the more I increase this, the picture itself is picking up a lot of pixels. You can see that. I'll zoom in and you'll see. Where's that tube? You can see. The program itself is, right? Okay, now, all right, hold on. This, right here, here's her lip. It's pulling, it was pulling already by the 17th, right? And it, to me, it's like it's been pushed over. It's floppy, you know, because the skin becomes, it goes into flaccidity, is flaccid, right? It's awful to touch. It doesn't feel right. It's gooey, that kind of thing, right? And you can clearly see the line, the shadowing. It speaks for itself. I don't know what that is called in terms of, and here you can see it So I'll just bring it up one. Right, you can see. And then in a different image, you can see the jaw pulling away. Here you can see her jowl. It's dropping. Right. I mean, of course, if I take it to court, they'll be like, it's your imagination station. Right? That would be normal for somebody that's brain dead. There is no homeostasis going on in ShaMay's body. Right? Somebody wanted to mention something about the neck. So let's go into the neck and see. Hold on. I don't know how well, again, this is going to record something blue in there. That's obviously a crease of some kind. Layers, colors, objects. See, I don't want to get too creative with this because, again, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just doing. I don't know how to clean up images, but if I was to say this spot right here and this spot right here could very well be the beginning stages of blisters because they were trying to hide what was going on just by the sheer fact of the way it looks. No. See, the camera doesn't like that. Well, this is better than me shaking. I would say that's something going through the tube. I don't know. Sorry, my dyslexarity. No. I don't know how to say it right now. Hand-eye coordination is not working very good. My son, I think he used to use this program when he was younger, because I've had this, like I said, I bought it from when I started the nonprofit. I made my first gift. It's on my website. Actually, animation. To promote the nonprofit. Little did I know I'd be using it, oh my God, 19 years later, for this purpose. Or whenever I bought this. If you notice the tube, this one here, it has little red things in it. You can see it. Alright, there's a big one right there. I personally don't think that they were giving her oxygen to provide color to her face. I think it was something else. I think it was some sort of, when they give people an injection of radioactive something to make them glow when they go for their tests or something. I'm thinking maybe a solution like that, maybe, because after they turned off the machine, within a few minutes she went very gray. There's that red again. There is a bump here, people. And we'll have to get that figured out. So, image. What can we do? Effects. Sharpen. Sharpen. We're just experimenting. Let's put it someplace where it makes sense. Her lip. This part in here. That is something from the movie called Scream. Well, that doesn't seem to be working, people. See, this is what I mean. I'm not very unsharp mask. Oh, what's that? See, I'm not very good at this. I don't know how to do this. I don't know how to do this. Obviously, this one looks better versus than this one. My son might be able to help me with that. Undo, sharpen, undo, sharpen. And then let's go back to effects. So what does this mean? Radius strength clipping. There's help. That's another day. Okay, well, somebody said, are those tubes going into her head? I don't know what these are, people. I have no clue. But now that somebody's mentioned it to me, I never noticed it, to be honest with you. I don't know what that is, because there seems to be a lot of it, don't you think? 1, 2, 3, 4. At least 4. Like, where is it going, and where is it coming from? What is it doing, right? And if you notice, they're glowing. Sorry. There we go. Kind of green. They're greenish. With red. Do you see that in there? So this is what I mean. People are paying attention. They're seeing things that I'm not seeing. And, you can simply screenshot it and save it on Paint and then trying to determine exactly what it is that we're looking at. If you're not sure, just give it a title, and then it can turn into a debate. Because there's definitely something there. You can see it. Like I said, I feel like they were... How did they make her face look the color that it was when it wasn't oxygen? And if it was oxygen, it was only going through the... under the skin? They took off her face and ran LED lights underneath her skin and then put her face back on and turned on the lights. Is that how they did it, people? Like, they did something. Because it sure in the hell wasn't oxygen. Okay? They're not going to have oxygen running through just ShaMay's face and everything else from the neck down is embalmed. And they're not going to put oxygen into embalming fluid. What's this black cord? Who knows? So for the person, I can't remember names right now because I'm communicating with a few people here on this. But for the person that mentioned that, in terms of, I think it's Sassy, about tubes going into her head or coming out from around her head area, you're pretty spot on. You definitely caught that one. And I appreciate that. This is fluorescent green with something red or pink in it and blue. Maybe not the blue because you've got the blue down here, but definitely something going on. What? A reflection from the light? Is that it? See, I can't really get up in there because if I go with the camera, we know what we're going to be looking at this point, right? I'm trying to avoid that. I don't even know what's going to happen when I upload this. Because I see the pixels right now, but my son, he doesn't like to do this kind of stuff. So it upsets him very, very, very much. So I don't know how much help I'm going to get from him when it comes to this. Blur. Soften. Soften more. Does that make a difference? You can definitely see it pulling away, people. It's like chewing gum being stretched out. Okay, this video's getting long. Just can you see that? It's because it was slipping off or something. You can see it in other pictures as well. And the last video I did, or the video before that one, I noticed bruising up in this area in here. Let's see if we can soften this again. What happens? Soften. I'm getting tired, people. Soften more. And then what happens if we just bring it back down to normal size? I don't know. Okay. Well, just really pay attention to this area in here. That is not normal under any kind of circumstance. And remember I told you, underneath that rubber, where they're not going to be touching up with makeup all the time, it's much darker. Do you see that? And we already did that. See? How did we get it before where it was better? Undo, soften. Now we're wasting your time. How much does this zoom in? Okay. Pretty much all blurry now, so just for the sake, we'll just do like this. And see what the camera picks up. No. Not liking it. It's flashing on my end, people. Completely flashing on my end. Jumping and shit.